Hey guys, it's KevJu with a Honkai Star Rail video on the best teams of Update 1.5. We're about a week into this patch after some massive changes to the Memory of Chaos game mode, which reduces the amount of turns you have to complete the whole MOC. You used to be able to complete MOC 10 within 20 turns, but now you have to do it within 10 turns. That's a pretty big change, and it's going to affect some free-to-plays and Dolphin players. So what I wanted to give you guys today is a list of the top 10 best teams that you guys could use. I'm going to provide gameplay and talk about the builds, and we're going to do 5 teams for the first half and 5 teams you could use for the second half. So let's get started with number 10 on our list. Coming in at number 10, we have Don Hung Hypercarry, and he's been slowly creeping up on everyone's radar, seeing just how reliable he is for a 4-star. Talking more about the team and his overall strengths, we have Silverwolf here debuffing enemies plus adding that wind weakness onto the enemies with her skill. We also have Tingyun, Bronya, or Pela for our secondary support options. For our sustains, an extremely popular choice right now is actually Huohuo, who can give that huge energy boost to everyone's ultimate plus attack boosts, or Fushuan, who is really good at mitigating damage. Don Hong deals very good single target damage. His ultimate is a very nice nuke, and the combination of either Bronya or Tingyun plus Huohuo, we actually get back this ultimate very frequently. The reason why I'm putting this team at a higher spot is definitely due to Don Hung needing certain Eidolons to really shine. He definitely needs his E2, granting another turn for his buffs, and his E4 and E6 are huge to his overall kit and does skyrocket his damage quite a bit. Then coming in at number 9, we have Sushong Hypercarry, and right now she's pretty good in the first half. With Fizz weakness being present on most enemies, Sushong is a great choice for this MOC, with her kit being mainly just high single target from Sword Stance, which is very valuable. There's a lot of options that you could play for your Harmony or Nihility options. One of the best options is definitely Bronya and Silverwolf, but something that you could still play is Tingyun and Asta for their amazing synergy with Sushong. What makes Sushong so strong for this half is her ability to shred down elite bosses with her Sword Stance. It's just a really good single target mechanic. Combined with her ultimate and the extra turn, it just melts enemy toughness bars. The ultimate is also great for one-shotting the squishier mobs on the sides. A thing with Sushong that you do need to know is she really wants to break the enemy's weakness bar as frequent as possible, as she gets a bunch of valuable speed buffs and also advances her action by 15% when an enemy is weakness broken. Additionally, she has pretty decent Eidolons with her E1, giving back a skill point when she attacks a weakness broken enemy with her skill. This allows a more fluid SP management. This team mainly needs lots of speed buffs and advanced action buffs from your supports and light cones, with the goal being to weakness break the enemy as fast as possible. Onto our number 8 spot, we have Qingchui Hypercarry. This is a team that destroys the second half and has been my personal go-to for clearing this MOC. She's also been good for a while, and now that Quantum is a major element that you need for the second half, as well as there being multiple enemies on the field, Qingchui really shines here. So with this setup, we have massive AoE damage, killing the smaller mobs really fast. If you're running the Bronya plus Silverwolf combo, it makes Qingchui's single target quite decent, surprisingly able to shred the first Ice Elite mobs fairly quickly. And then for the Swarm Boss, she is really good in this matchup. Qingchui, having really good AoE, can deal with the smaller guys really easily. Because of her ultimate, followed up with her enhanced basic attack, it gets rid of the smaller guys quite quickly. So F2Ps / low spenders have been utilizing Qingchui in second half pretty often, but she can also work in the first half if you have enough damage. She does take our number 8 spot because she does need certain Eidolons, especially her E4 having a huge damage spike and her E6 being very good for skill point management. Onto our number 7 spot, it might be a surprise, but we have Jingyuan Hypercarry. He's received a sizable buff during the last patch with the addition of Huohuo, who was able to fix some of Jingyuan's DPS output, giving him more ultimate uptime plus additional attack buffs to the whole team. This has made Jingyuan's damage pretty reliable and consistent. Huohuo also benefits everyone in this setup. With her ult giving energy to the whole team, this makes Tingyun and Asta ultimates come back pretty fast, and since Huohuo gives an attack boost to all party members, it benefits Tingyun's benediction buff, as the more attack on Tingyun, she's able to give a stronger benediction buff to Jingyuan. And this team just synergizes extremely well, as this is more of a speedy team, so you aren't really taking much damage in the first place, only really needing to tank a few hits before letting the Lightning Lord unleashes his devastating blow. I really like the AoE damage coming from Jingyuan, and the fact that we're getting multiple attack and damage buffs coming from all 3 party members. Again, it increases his damage output by a very good amount. This also can be done with a pretty free-to-play setup. In this setup, most of the characters are running 4-star light cones. Besides Jingyuan, he is actually running his signature 5-star light cone, but he can work with seriousness of breakfast pretty well. And something to mention is that he is E0 in this showcase, which just truly amazes me. He's definitely been under the radar for quite a while, but now his damage is quite reliable with this team, and it definitely needs more notice. Onto our number 6 spot, we have Seela Hypercarry, and she plays into the second half while also being a decent choice in the first half. With this team, you're getting raw high single target damage with all of your buffs surrounding Seela, making her your main DPS. She's pretty good at dealing with the swarm boss and is notorious for beating the 2 isolate mobs, as in the past her single target just shreds them completely. She also has flexible teams not needing Bronya, and as well as not needing Silverwolf, and she can still do very good damage without them. A lot of her strength definitely comes from her signature weapon, so if you don't have it, then you might need a Silverwolf or Bronya to accompany her. While this is a strong setup, I wouldn't recommend it for newer or casual players that want to complete MOC 10, and it's because the team is very difficult to set up properly. This team requires certain speed tuning, which requires you to really min-max your relics, and it's not so much the player's fault, it just depends on the relics you have and ability to gear the whole team properly. But apart from that, if you do plan on using her and dealing with the minor adjustments, and definitely might need to use your wallet a little bit, she has good rewards and is able to deal with this MOC with ease. Taking our number 5 spot, we have the Clara/Topaz team, and this team just skyrocketed in popularity all of a sudden. Because of the Fizz weakness being a main element in the first half, Clara was finally able to shine at a dominant pace. So why is this team so good? It has really good single target and AoE damage. You're also having very good survivability, with Clara mainly taking the hits, as well as the synergy of the whole team. Both Clara and Topaz primarily deal damage with follow-up attacks, and Topaz is able to give a huge buff to follow-up attacks on a single enemy, and the combination of Tingyun with the benediction buff, you are getting everything that you need just from this setup. A popular sustain pick is actually Huohuo again, because she's able to give a better uptime to every single character with her ultimate, giving that extra energy. So with both Clara and Topaz needing their ultimate for their damage to be relevant, Tingyun and Huohuo is just a huge bonus. This is one of the more fun and satisfying teams in my opinion, and with the new artifact sets that hugely buff follow-up attacks, it seems like every patch Clara keeps getting better and better. On our number 4 spot, we have the Kafka Dot team, and honestly, she's been one of the most consistent DPSs in the game. Ever since launch, she's been good for all players, and now that she's received multiple buffs from different characters that have been added to the game, and new ornament sets that are farmable that go really well for Kafka teams. So with this team, expect high single target damage and high AoE damage with a very strong emphasis on speed. And the way dot damage works in Star Rail is quite overpowered, and Kafka herself takes dot damage to the next level. She's quite powerful in both floors, but she is especially powerful in the first half. With the team featuring a variety of units, namely Luca or Sampo Tingyun, Asta, Gwynephen, all of them can be swapped for each other for each single situation and work really well. A really good thing is Kafka teams, since they're hitting the enemies so many times by using their skill, it abuses the memory turbulence effect, which deals an insane amount of damage at each turn. Also, Kafka teams are just really easy to build, only really needing speed and attack, not really needing crit rate. They are insanely versatile with a bunch of characters fitting each other in each and every scenario. So Kafka mains, shout out to you guys. I'm definitely pulling her in her next rerun. Alright, the big three, and taking our number 3 spot, we have Blade Hypercarry or Blade Duo DPS. And Blade is an interesting one, as there really hasn't been much buffs dedicated to him. No new relic sets or new characters that synergize really well with him other than Jinglu, but he's just been at the top of performers in almost every single MOC. Imagine a character that is SP neutral, not needing to use a skill point every turn, can deal 3 types of damage from his enhanced basic attack, ultimate, and follow-up attack, is tanky because he scales with HP, and has amazing single target and AoE damage. I myself don't have this character, but just from testing his kit and beating this MLC on other accounts, he's still really good. And it's undeniable that he's been awesome these few patches. Now this is the hypercarry, but talking about the other variation where Blade is accompanied by another SP neutral DPS, this could be characters such as Jinglu or even Clara, and they pair really well for these types of teams. With the duo DPS with Jinglu, Blade plus Jinglu works really well in the second half, while Blade and Clara works really well in the first half. But yeah, if you have Blade, you are definitely in a good spot because he's been a character that's been standing the test of time. Onto our number 2 spot, we have Il Don Hung Hypercarry. This character has been a menace in this MOC. He plays like a traditional hypercarry, but on steroids. He just deals a huge amount of damage in a few rotations and dominates a lot of the MOCs. In MOC 1.5, he's actually usable in both sides, but he's a lot stronger in the first half. The way this team works is quite standard. You are running a hypercarry comp with Branya and Silverwolf plus a sustain. This could either be Luocha or even the new character Huo Huo. Talking about Il Don Hung, his level 3 enhanced basic attack hits like a truck. He is also very good at dealing with breaking enemy toughness bars, as his level 3 basic attack shreds a huge amount of toughness, and combined with his ult, the weakness break is going to be happening quite often. And it makes Japard being pretty useless in this fight against Il Don Hung, because he's always being weakness broken. On to our number 1 spot, you guys know it, we have Jinglu Hypercarry. She's the most recent damage dealer that we've received from Star Rail, and right now she is the best carry in the game. Her damage is very reliable, her teams are extremely free to play, as her best supports right now are 4 stars, being Tingyun and E4 Pela, and with the synergy of Huo Huo plus Tingyun, it makes Jinglu teams even more broken. With Huo Huo's ultimate, she's able to give that extra energy to the whole team, allowing Jinglu to have more uptime in her buff state. For those of you that aren't familiar, when Jinglu uses her ultimate, she gains a stack back, and these stacks are how many enhanced skills she has left. So combining Huo Huo's ultimate with Tingyun makes this team perfect for Jinglu, possibly gaining 100% uptime on her buff state. But that's if we can get everyone's bursts at the right time with certain speed tuning, but apart from that, it's actually really easy to do. Now, speaking in terms of usability, she's not only good for the free-to-play players, she's just insane for whale players, as her damage scaling is through the roof. As you get her Eidolons and signature light cone, she's also pretty easy to build, not worrying too much about crit rate, as she gets a lot from her passives, and her relics are really easy to farm. The biggest highlights here are her damage output and her uptime with the addition of Huo Huo and Tingyun. She also is just insanely good for the Swarm boss fight, as you are able to beat those Swarm bugs with just one enhanced skill most of the time, and you'll just be able to dominate this Swarm boss. That's going to be it for our top 10 list. Check out my Twitch, as I am streaming most days. Huge shout out to all of the CCs featured in this video. All of the showcases are listed below, so check them out if you want to see their builds. And let me know what video you guys want to see next down below in the comments. Until next time, Trailblazers.